Twisters is honestly one of the best films I've watched this year, and in terms of sequels, the best I've seen at all, I believe. I am still referring to in terms of this year, even if it is mostly just a sequel in name or technicality alone. We follow a woman named Kate, who has super good instincts in terms of knowing tornadoes, from the wind speeds, the cloud formations, how wheat fields react to the winds, you get the idea. These instincts, mixed with her knowledge on things like chemistry, leads her to having a dream to find a way to end tornadoes after they form and actually make a difference, which, as someone who wants to make a difference in my own way, I relate to quite a bit. The movie begins with her and her friends going to test out her latest, solution, but since it's the very beginning of the movie, obviously things don't go entirely as planned. Trying to avoid spoilers here. 5 years later, Kate, as well as friends from the beginning, use scientific advancements to chase the tornadoes yet again, trying to gather data, help the people in the aftermath, and hopefully reduce the ramifications of the collateral damage. But things aren't entirely as they seem. As she works with her new team, she competes against a team of redneck YouTubers that go about this storm chasing in an entirely different way, both having different goals, different precautions, and different ways to circumvent the danger as they drive right into it. So I'm going to be completely honest here, although I do love the first film, I think I might enjoy this one a little bit more on pure entertainment value alone. You have to get through some scientific mumbo jumbo at a few points, but I can't say whether any of it is accurate in any real way. I am definitely not a scientist in this regard, but I didn't find any of it too far out of the realm of imagination, so it never really bored me either. It was far better implemented than movies such as Moonfall. The way both sides of the chasers are characterized at the beginning, as well as grow throughout, was really good as well. It felt natural, normal, and like it progressed to that point in a believable way. It's super cliche and predictable at times, but that predictability doesn't equate to it being bad and didn't bother me much at all. The movie has a lot of fast-paced action, with absolutely beautiful effects that utilize its budget in noticeable ways. The tornadoes look surprisingly good, as well as the aftermath they leave in their wake, putting some of the latest MCU films to shame in the process. Not that that's much of a feat at this point, but you get the idea. There are a lot of suspenseful and tense moments too, moments that might actually be a bit much for some people, because I've seen a lot of people complain about it, but I mean, if you're going into a movie with tornadoes, you have to have some kind of thought process of, maybe natural disasters would be a bit much for me. But I digress. The humor is pretty good as well. Whenever jokes or funny situations happen, it's never in a way that feels forced or detrimental to the pacing at all. Every moment that I laughed at was genuine, because the characters in the film felt that way, which was a giant plus for me. Though romance cliches are here as well, pretty much all of them, but thankfully it's not the main draw of the film. Relationships develop throughout, but in a way that feels like it's within situations themselves, as if they could both exist apart, instead of the situations happening because they need the romance first and foremost. Now that I said that out loud, it probably didn't make sense, but I hope someone understands what I mean. It's not like a rom-com or anything. If you're there for dangers and twisters, then it'll still satisfy you without the romance throwing you off. The unraveling mystery behind the scenes isn't a big mystery either if you're just slightly paying attention, but it being a mystery to the people that are unaware within the film itself does make sense within the boundaries that have been established in the movie. So if you're looking for a mystery that will keep you in the dark, then you're not gonna find that here. But if you want one that tests the characters, their morality, and reveals the reality of the world that we live in, then it's good for that. All in all, this is the kind of film that truly represents America. Good, bad, and everything in between. It reveals biases we may have towards people of different backgrounds or based upon their appearances. Shows how people will react stupidly in emergency situations, as well as showing how people benefit from the downfall of others, which includes the people that reacted stupidly in those situations, but is mostly people that were just trying to survive something that they weren't prepared for. It shows that some people are genuinely caring, and that what may seem like greed in one situation can be revealed to be charity in another. It shows different perspectives on emotions such as fear, guilt, sadness, and envy. It reveals the danger that natural disasters cause, the position they put people in constantly, and how others will use the fact that they lost almost everything to take what little they have left, which can be justified in some regard for both sides of the transaction. Whether that makes it right or not is probably a discussion for a video over on TrevTalks, so I'll move on from that. It shows how little we see what goes on behind the scenes, how normalized doing things for views is, how disconnected we are due to social media, although its main goal is to connect us all even more. It shows the difference between what you can see and read about online and what those same situations would be like in person, bridging the emotional gap that the stories we read leave us desensitized to. It shows the fragility of humanity, how quickly someone's life may end, even if it seemed as if they had their whole life ahead of them up to that point, demonstrating the fleeting of time and how every action we perform does have consequences, whether they be good or they be bad. We can see the butterfly effect in action with every action that we perform. It's also a good example of both sides of society and how at the end of the day, it's okay and sometimes even necessary to depend on each other for survival. Humans are prideful. We sometimes have giant egos and believe we know better than everyone else. This movie demonstrates the dangers of such a mindset and pushes for you to overcome it before you're put in a situation that you never expected if you're one of the people that believe you know best. A situation that, if handled alone, may very well cost you your life, so depend on others. Humanity disappoints me more and more every single day, but whenever tragedy strikes, disaster occurs, it truly gives us an idea of how many good people still exist, still help outside of what the media chooses to acknowledge. People donate to charity every day without making it a spectacle, give money to the homeless without anyone ever knowing, assist their neighbors, friends, family, or strangers without any recognition at all. Those are the heroes we see when disaster strikes such as this. Just because the stories of hatred, anger, and violence get more clicks and therefore are published more often doesn't mean the world is as dark as it seems. We need to focus on the good as well, give positive reinforcement towards those that deserve it, and stop platforming people that don't deserve said platform. Twisters is a fine example of that. For more news, reviews, and whatever we choose, stay tuned to Nerdsfeed. Have a great day. Thank you.